Hey everyone, it's Kayla from The Casual Crafter, and today we're going to be doing even more modern boho style DIYs using some inexpensive items I picked up at Dollar Tree and Walmart. So if that sounds interesting to you, stick around and let's go ahead and get right into the video. So here I'm just taking some braided clothesline that I got at Walmart, and I'm going to be using that. I'm wrapping this yarn that I got at Dollar Tree. You can use any yarn really, but I think the thinner works best. I'm wrapping that around the cord. In the beginning here I was hot gluing it just so it would keep that tightness. I'm going to be wrapping these around to make coasters. So I would wrap it around about 10 times or so, and then I would take my needle and thread it through the inner part just so that it would have a more secure hold, and I would loop it through twice every time I did that. So yeah, I was just making my way around, and once I got enough of the cream color, I decided to switch colored yarns. So in this case, just to end that color, I would just hot glue, just a little dot of hot glue on the rope, and then to start the other one, I would just use a little dot of hot glue to get that started and going again. You could, in theory, just hot glue the whole thing, but I feel like tying it makes it a little more secure, and you don't get the hot glue mess everywhere. So I switched to black color at the end here, and I used about 5 feet of the clothesline cord to make one coaster, and that seems pretty consistent with a good size, I think like a 4" by 4" coaster. To end it, I just used some hot glue and wrapped it around the end and pulled it pretty tight and make sure it was all covered. I did make another one just with a little different design. Yeah, and I think these are really great. They're like a homemade coaster that you can share with your family. So this next DIY is really simple. I'm just going to be taking some Waverly white chalk paint and covering this little sign that I got at Dollar Tree. The top part of it is kind of like ceramic, so it's kind of like a coaster. And I'm just going to be taking this rub-on transfer and putting that on the middle. It's very, like I said, it's a really simple DIY, but I think it turns out really nice. You can ignore my ice cream in the bottom left there. We all get a little hungry when we're crafting. For this next DIY, I'm going to be making some modern style vases. I saw the Crafty couple make something similar to this a while ago, so I'm going to be kind of following their lead and using these foam wreath rings that I got at Dollar Tree. I'm just going to be cutting off one end of it to try and make it a flat surface so it'll stand up. And once I have that flat enough, I do sand it down a little. And then I'm just going to be taking this toilet paper roll, cutting it down so it fits to make like the top part of a vase. So I kind of just make a V with the toilet paper roll, and then it'll sit on there pretty well. And then I'm going to be hot gluing that to it. I thought it would melt the foam a bit here, but it actually didn't really seem to do that much to it, so don't be too worried about it. And once that's done, I'm going to be making a similar shape with this next one here. I'm just going to cut off the bottom again. And then I'm going to be cutting out a big section on the one side. This isn't going to be the most stable vase. I mean, I wouldn't put a whole lot in it. It's more for the look. So yeah, I'm just going to be repeating that process with the toilet paper tube. And then on the end there, I'm just going to add some hot glue to give it a more rounded end. So once I have those two done, I'm just going to go into painting, which I use some baking soda and just a tan color acrylic paint. And I go over the one, and then I realize it's not really working exactly how I want. So I just go back with the spackling, and I cover them both with a generous amount to kind of smooth it all out and give it that texture I was hoping for. So once those are done, I'm going to be giving them a good sanding to smooth them out, get all that excess spackling off. So then I'm going to be painting them again. I'm going to use more of that tan color and a little bit of this dark brown acrylic paint. And just mixing in some baking soda. You don't want it to be too thick, then it's going to be hard to spread, but thick enough to where it will give a nice texture. I'm just going to be going over the vase with that. Then I'm going to do a similar thing just with some black acrylic paint and baking soda for the next one. And I think these look really nice and sleek and modern. So this next DIY is pretty simple. You can fill vases with this. I'm just going to be taking some brown craft paper and cutting out a heart shape. And then I do end up cutting the paper down the middle, but I don't think that's really necessary. And then I'm just going to be folding this back and forth. So once I have both sides done, I'm just going to be taking this dowel that I got at Dollar Tree and hot gluing it to the paper itself to make kind of a feather type look. But because I separated it in half, I'm going to make sure I connect the two halves together again. This is why I said it wasn't really necessary to separate the two halves. So I'm just going to hot glue that dowel to the back and kind of wrap the paper around it. And then I'm just going to be making a smaller one. You can make these in all shapes and sizes, however you see fit. And in this one I didn't cut them in half, I just folded them as is. Once I have that all folded, I'm just going to be taking this little skewer stick that I had and hot gluing that to the back. Like I said, you can make these in all different sizes, and I feel like they look really nice with some natural style decor. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure and like and comment down below what your favorite item I made today was. Also, be sure and check me out over on Instagram. It's @thecasualcrafter. And be sure and tune in next week for even more DIYs. Thanks again. Bye!